Welcome back. In this video, we'll talk about another theory called self-regulated learning. Since we are talking about computer-based learning environments, where student is personalized, we talked about the student learning path decided by themselves. They only regulate their own content use, when to learn and everything. We need to really talk about something called self-regulated learning. We talked a bit about this in the metacognition. I think Vishwas talked about metacognition, cognition of cognition. Now we talk about self-regulated learning, how the students have to self-regulate their own learning. I'll go to the real definition of self-regulated learning. An active, constructive process whereby learners set goals for the learning, which means it's a processes. It's not a one-time instant. As learner sets their own goal, I wanted to learn computer programming, and they attempt. While attempting, they monitor their own attempt. My goal is to complete understand of computer programming in a month. I started in a week 1. Am I doing rightly? And they monitor, then they regulate their own behavior. Am I doing it correctly? If they feel they are not able to learn enough content in the week 1, they start regulating, they do more, and they control their cognition. To by the means regulate means they have to control their own cognition. They might need to learn more, they might need to practice more coding and everything. The new cognitive skills has to be trained, then the motivation has to improve. They might have less motivation sometimes, and behavior guided and constrained by the goals. All this is guided, and they are monitoring continuously and regulating and motivating themselves and guiding the constraint by the own goal they set and the context which is in the environment. So also the environment should support it. Okay, so that is called self-regulated learning. Self-regulated learning has been studied from 1980s. It's from information processing theories. It started, and it's been studied by many researchers. There are famous researchers. 5 or 6 different theories has been established, and it encompasses cognition, metacognition, motivation, emotional aspect. Or other word, I would instead of emotional, if I put affective aspect, it's called as CAMM processes, CAM processes, where cognition, affect the emotional, metacognition, and motivational aspects of the learning. It is a complex interplay of all these processes is called self-regulated learning. I would like to request Vishwas to explain what are the processes involved in the self-regulated learning.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I would say the phases in the self-regulated learning are various phases given by various models of self-regulated learning by researchers. I would go for the model which is laid down by Zimmerman, Barry Zimmerman. He was very renowned learning science researcher and talked about and worked on self-regulated learning. So the model encompasses 3 components or 3 phases, we can say. Phase 1 is forethought, phase 2 is performance, and phase 3 is self-reflection. So in forethought, during self-regulated learning, in forethought, the task analysis such as goal setting, strategic planning, or thinking on what is my goal, setting up the goal, and then again reflecting on the goal and thinking about whether this goal is correct or not, and more accurately trying to define the goal. Then second point is self-motivation beliefs. As sir mentioned, it is a combination of CAM, cognitive, affect, motivation, and metacognition. So again motivation comes into the picture, and it is linked up with the forethought phase. So in layman's language, learner has to deal with this motivation component in the learning process at the starting of that learning process, which is accounted in the forethought phase. Then the control goes in the second phase in the learning regulation, which is performance phase, which encompasses actual learning actions. So it is accounted under the title of self-control, self-observation. Say self-control can be attention focusing, self-instruction, task strategies, etc. Then self-observation is again monitoring whether am I correctly learning or not, whether am I understanding, trying to apply the acquired knowledge, and again refining the self-control, again refocusing the attention, etc. in the performance phase. Once the learning is done, at the end of that process, the third phase comes, which is self-reflection. Self-reflection is post the learning. Post means after the learning. So self-judgment, self-reaction after the learning. For example, whether I have learned that whole process completely or correctly or not, and is it correct, is it accurate, and trying to apply and again re-evaluate. So that skill or that processes are under third phase, which is self-reflection. So this is the self-regulated learning model given by Zimmerman in 2000, contains three phases.
Thanks, Vishwas. I think I would like to ask a couple of questions here. So, if I want to learn something, I should have motivation.
Yeah.
Firstly, how much belief, how much motivation I have it. So,
Yeah.
I set my goal that I want to learn programming or I want to know about GenAI something in a month. I
Yeah.
set my goal.
Yeah.
That goal setting and my planning, how should I do every week, I should be doing in a phase one.
Yeah.
Then, as per the phase two, I should be the self-control is the phase where I started learning.
Yeah.
Then I focus on it and self-instruction. And when I monitor, I'm just getting what is the self-recording in the observation is that they have to observe, monitor, are they going their own
Yeah.
phase?
So we can say that in first phase they create a plan, they prepare a
Yes.
plan
Yes.
which is having some strategy in their mind and have some goal.
Yeah.
And to achieve that goal, they know what are their skills, what is their belief
Okay.
and motivation, as you said, what is their intrinsic interest, etc. So they create a strategy. So we can say that skills plus strategy lead them towards goal.
Okay.
So that journey from the initial point to the goal is actually the performance phase. Means the actual action starts happening. When actual action starts happening, they need to monitor themselves internally also. For example, I am learning something. They need to ask that question, whether am I learning something or not. There are many ways to monitor. So self recording is one of the way. For example, self recording means accounting for or looking for one's own actions by performing those actions and again looking at those actions. So these are the ways of that.
Got it. So if I understand correctly, you plan and you started working on it. Then if I go for the third phase, where I evaluate whether I'm doing
Yeah.
correctly or wrong. Then if I'm not correctly doing, my plan might be wrong. What should I do?
Then again it goes to the cyclical way,
Okay.
which is again refining the original plan.
So
and
that's
again,
why it's a
yeah, it is
cyclical.
cyclical. Yeah.
So if I evaluate, I should have a reaction whether my responses are correct. If
Yeah.
not, I have to replan, react to the whole thing. Again,
Yeah.
go back to forethought, do the plan changes, then do that.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So in these three videos, what we did, we started with what is learning, and it's very key is that learning is the change in behavior or a capacity to experience. We started in that. What is learning? It's not just you just read Wikipedia or consume knowledge, but any behavior change, although it's not expressed, it's still learning. Then we talked about the learning theories, the four learning theories, and how each learning theory should be offering design principles in CBLE. We discussed that. Then we went on the issues in learning. I think we was give the list of 5 issues. How these 5 issues can be addressed in personalization
Yeah.
is the key goal of the this last second video of this week. Then we introduced this personalization is not the latest problem. It has been discussed from 1980s from Sigma. Bloom's it's established that 2 Sigma improvement in the learning gain has been done by one-on-one tutoring, and we're saying, and in the latest discussion, the one-on-one tutoring, not all, most of the one-on-one tutoring benefits can be achieved by providing the adaptive computer-based learning environment or the personalized learning environment. And the key part is that since personalized learning environment is personalized, the learner should have their own self-regulated learning. They should plan and they should monitor and they should evaluate their own performance and replan it. Maybe the systems, the computer-based learning environments can help them in testing their knowledge in between, providing the content to self-evaluate so that they can see whether they are reaching the target or not. So that can be the possible. So that's the plan for these 3 weeks. And in this course, we will talk about in this week what are the course content and detail. And in this whole course, we'll talk about how can we create such a personalized adaptive learning environment from the literature point of view. What is exists till now? How can we design such personalized learning environment using Gen AI? So thank you.